Oh my goodness, I started this with the camera reverse. Let's see if I can go backwards. I can. Well, very long time since I've done an update over the preserve, the Sugar Shack preserve. And thought so it's going to take me a few minutes to give you a rundown. I'm sitting here with a big old bad case of a cold and bronchitis. I went to the doctor about it a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "Oh well, if it's going to run its course." And no, not with me. The minute things start hitting my lungs, they're not going to run their course. I almost always need antibiotics. It's just the way of it. And I would go back, but we can't afford to because he lost his job. So every dime counts at the moment. And I mean, yeah, sure, he's got a new job already. He's going to start soon, but until that first paycheck comes, till several paychecks come. So my access to health care. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we remarked that several years ago our access to healthcare was better because everywhere expects a copay now and everything. And beforehand, you would just go and then pay the bill when it came. Anyway, so over the summer, the garden was allowed to go to pot. I was out of town. No one went out there and gardened it, and it overgrew. And I wasn't exactly the best on it either. So the whole house let it go to pot. Now there's one member in the house that's just not going to lift a finger. They're just not. I've tried getting him out there. He's not. Like, I tried to get him to mow, and it was, oh well, the lawnmower's broken. Yeah. So me and the husband went out today because I thought, for the first time in my life, because of where we're at, you can grow crops year-round if you know what crops to grow. And I found a calendar online. We would try a winter crop, and one of the items was sweet corn, which actually should have been put into the ground 2 weeks ago. But I'm hoping that the 2 weeks isn't going to be a problem. Can I find my little collection of seeds that I keep? No, I cannot. We're out there cleaning the garden. He's already done the bulk of the work, and he's like, "Go inside because you can't breathe because you're gasping for breath." But we're out there, and I find some of the food that had been allowed to go to pot, and here are the corns that I had that the garden had managed to produce. It's really neat because they look like a hybrid. I had put both sweet corn and glass corn, which is a colored Cherokee corn, and in the ground, and it looks like I got some beautiful hybrids out of it. And they look like they would have been tasty. The ants were sure eating them up. So we rescued these, and instead, and I can't find my seeds anyway. So I'm like, well, here's a garden's worth right here, a whole garden's worth. So at least a small garden. So I will research. They're hard enough. I think they're ready to go. I'll research just to make sure, and we'll make sure there's no ants out there. And we need to get some more soil in the ground, and set it back up and try again. And this time, hopefully, everybody will be more on the ball, me included. Let me think. What else happened around the preserve? I have never shown you guys the inside of my parents' house because let me tell you something. You would see it, and you would have seen it, and you would have been like, "Oh my God, condemn the place." God knows my mother's sister, who used to live across the street, was like that. The place doesn't need condemning. What it really needs is somebody who knows how to fix piping and wiring, and can do some basic handiwork, like replacing a floor, which is something I used to do with my dad. So I'm hoping to get the money together at some point to replace the floor. But what we did do in the past few days since he was home, so it was like, let's make some lemonade out of the lemons we've been handing, and let's get some work done. So we bleached the entire living room. I'm talking the walls. We bleached everything. And the dog's already peed in the floor and ruined it. So got to bleach it again. But that's great because beforehand, during the year of mourning, I was pretty much keeping to the bedroom and not coming out. It would be nice to go back to my house, but we can't afford to. We had gotten a vehicle from one of those kinky places, and they sold us one that has a leaking head. Yes, coolant is coming out of the head. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going anywhere. I want to go home. The neighbors up there are causing trouble, the way neighbors do, especially nosy neighbors. But the preserve is green and still going. Look at that. And it's nice to sit out here. which is the whole point. I mean, aside from being there for the environment, it's a really good thing for you. Scientifically proven that forest bathing, they call it now, hanging out in the woods is what we called it when I was a kid, is good for your well-being. I'm probably going to, because I've noticed, like, we have some wildflowers back there, and I want the wildflowers, but I don't want them taking over to the point that you can't do anything. They took over, and I really like how this tree grew into a little arch. I've got to get in here and clean up this spot because this isn't quite where it begins. The preserve doesn't begin until past the septic tank, which is over here. So, yeah, we keep the septic tank clear. You can have a lightweight little table, but you can't do anything here. You can't grow or anything here. It's not a good idea for your septic tank. But I'm thinking, just until I can, you can hear me struggling for breath now, right? Just until I can do what I need to do, some pallets to keep the path safe, because there's supposed to be a path back there. So there used to be a path you'd go in and you'd walk around. Put some pallets down. Oh, look, a butterfly. This is great because I haven't seen many that year. This is very, very good. Try to get up to it. Oh, good. That's. I don't know if I have the camera aimed so you guys can see it. Look at that beautiful butterfly. This is good, guys. Look at that beauty. I think you can see that beauty. Can you see that beauty? I don't think you can see that beauty. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. I hope I'm seeing it. I hope I'm showing it. I have no way of knowing. So yeah, this is good. Now those elephant ears have to go. They're invasive and they don't belong. They are not a Florida plant. They don't belong here. Oh, look, another butterfly. Awesome. This is great. So yeah, leaving the wildflowers to some extent is great, but we've got to protect the path so that I can get back in further to maintain things. So I'm thinking pallets would be a quick way to do it. I did have some silver palmettos planted right there. They didn't make it. Well, it's really hard to transplant palmettos. They're more fragile than people think. We've got this post here that actually came off of Mother's ramp to mark the actual edge. But yeah, if you've got the ability, keep a pocket of nature. It's good for you. It's good for the planet. You know, the building isn't always the problem. Sometimes it's how it's done. And there are so many ways to build with nature so that nature is able to continue and you can cohabit. It's a shame more people don't take the practice. Okay, so I'm gonna, if I can figure out how to tell it to stop, I'm gonna stop now because I ain't breathing. La 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 la. La 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 la. How do I stop this? Yes, I want to stop streaming.